Untold Stories. We each live and create a story every day. These are the stories of individuals, of people and real events which happen to real people. Sometimes these stories can be hard to find, but once uncovered, they can be told in so many different ways.
Holocaust Memorial Day is a remembrance of those who suffered during the Nazi persecution. In South Lanarkshire Council since 2004, we have been undertaking a number of educational projects which allow young people to understand the background, to listen to the testimony of those who suffered, and to also acknowledge in Bosnia and Darfur, etc., across the world, there are still atrocities taking place, and we're trying to instil and educate young people to understand what's happening, and hopefully those issues will never be repeated again.
It's a pleasure of Larkhall Academy to be chosen to host this year's Holocaust Memorial event. It's important that we're able to not only showcase our young people's talent, but also show that they have an understanding of the horror of the atrocities of the Holocaust. Tonight we're going to see on display a range of highly skilled young people. We will see input from St Mary's Primary School, Mackenhill Primary School, Glengowan Primary School, 2 pieces from Larkhall Academy, as well as input from Candid Theatre and Vertigo Theatre Company.
This song is called Ani Ma Amin, meaning I believe, and many people would sing this on their journey to the gas chamber as it would bring comfort to them.
Throughout South Lanarkshire, primary and secondary schools examine the Holocaust, the events leading to the Holocaust, and they look at it through the pages of history, through music, through drama. We look at how man's inhumanity to man has led to widespread genocide, discrimination and intolerance, and through the work that we do in schools, we learn that this is not to be tolerated.
Schools in South Lanarkshire have been commemorating the Holocaust for 8 years now, and the schools have worked across a range of activities that they then focus on the 27th of January. That range of events can be assemblies in schools, activities through the curriculum, and it also happens in community events where the schools invite communities, parents and friends of the schools to join them. The Holocaust Memorial website identifies a theme each year, and the theme this year was Untold Stories.
Hello, said Bruno. Hello, said the boy. The boy was smaller than Bruno and was sitting on the ground with a forlorn expression.
Pupils decide themselves what aspect of Holocaust Memorial Day that they wish to look at. Some children look at the Diary of Anne Frank, other children decide on a drama piece that they would like to perform.
In 1939, the Jews had to escape from Germany, so a lot of them went onto this ship, the SS St Louis. The captain attempted to go to the UK, but at first they were denied. So the captain said that he sent a message to the UK saying that he would burn the ship. So the UK and Holland, Belgium and France let them in. So eventually they had a happy ending.
The story of the SS St Louis and her refugee passengers reminds us of the cruelty of the Nazis. This untold story encourages us to consider the plight of modern-day refugees and asylum seekers and ask ourselves whether the world community is really more welcoming today.
I think the research that children and young people do into the Holocaust helps them to understand just how important it is that we work very, very hard to prevent intolerance and discrimination in our own society.
Candid Theatre Company is a company that takes pupils away on residential weekends, and we work continuously for 2 days on a specific subject, for instance the Holocaust with this subject. Before we take the children away, they usually have no prior knowledge of the event, and part of the process is researching it and finding your own knowledge out and then sharing it with the other people in the group.
There was no escaping what had happened here. Most upsetting and disturbing of all for everyone was the displays of hair, shoes, spectacles, artificial limbs, baby clothes and family's possessions, along with the suitcases with names and ages of children so young.
One of the things the project really helped us with was identifying with other people, because When you get to Auschwitz, there's a lot of objects there that you can relate to, that anybody could use. It was just so happens that it was across in a different country, and that's one of the things I think the kids really took from it. If this was here, it could have been them.
I want answers to my questions, but most of all, I just want to hug my family.
It's a difficult area to take forward because it can be a very emotive and indeed emotional subject, and it's very difficult for teachers, very challenging to find the way to take into consideration the age span through from primaries to secondaries.
Joy, life,
crushed,
fear, anger,
hatred,
defiance, inspiration,
hope,
love, joy, life.
I hope that the audience take away from this a real feel of what the young people understand the Holocaust to be. It says a lot about these young people that they're able to grasp something that occurred 60 years ago and reflect that understanding in their performance pieces tonight.
A number of pupils who have visited Auschwitz come back and do a review of how they felt and their whole experience of the visit, which is always a very, very powerful presentation.
From our years of researching the Holocaust, we were finally able to see the reality and relate the voices from the testimonies we had performed to this place we were in.
I know from speaking to some members of the audience that they were particularly moved by the footage that they saw from the concentration camps, as the pupils had filmed their tour around, and the audience felt that that was a really first-hand experience for them, having watching it on the big screen. So I think that they found that quite chilling.
There is still discrimination and persecution taking place across the world, and what we're trying to say to young people is to understand why that's happening and to challenge people who are threatening our society through racism and sectarianism and bigotry, and to actually stand up and be counted and say we are all the same and we want to move forward in a more united society.
Although the Holocaust happened over 60 years ago, I think it's really important that all pupils, not just in South Lanarkshire but throughout Scotland, learn about it and learn from the mistakes of the past, because the future is in their hands and they are the ones that decide our future.
It's always looked back on as being a terrible time, and terrible times are still happening, so it's important that we still remember that these things are going on and try and stop these things from happening again.